the match, specifically at one point, Euro was in like a top, I think it was a top half guard. And I was like, man, Euro's really putting it on V. And I thought maybe his pressure.
Welcome to the Saigon Saga, where we cover combat sports in Vietnam and have fun while doing it.
Hey, let's give it up for these guys. What an incredible match, right?
I think he's locking up that triangle.
Zach had talked about doing like all these different things with the saga. And to me, I was like, okay, let's start with the podcast. Start slow. We don't want to get in over our heads. And he mentioned putting on a tournament. And then when you got here, you just kind of said, okay, let's go forward with it. So you pushed us forward to do that. And the super fight format is a little bit easier because you just have a few registrations to deal with. You just have to make a few matchups. And we put the whole thing together in like about 2 weeks.
I think a key of what made it successful was the fact that it was very low key, right? Like it wasn't a complicated thing to arrange because we weren't trying to make money with this, right? This was not a for-profit. Is this close enough?
Yeah,
was
just about like this.
Okay. Not a for-profit thing, right? Like I didn't make any money on it. I don't know if you guys did, but
I sold 2 shorts and a rash guard. So.
Okay.
Well, it cost me money, but not much.
All right. Yeah, all right. So you lost money. There you go.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It's a zero-sum game.
I had to buy the black T-shirt for to rep, so I guess I also technically lost money.
That's an investment. You know, you
we're
could wear that
we're
in the
all
future.
invested in this, and for what it's worth, Rob, looking sharp.
Thanks, man.
Looking sharp.
Looking professional.
Thanks.
I think like when people saw you in that all black referee, they're like, "This is a real tournament."
I hope so.
It brought legitimacy. To the Saigon
cost me
Superfights.
maybe 100,000 VND. So.
Yeah. Yes.
But anyway, I thought it was awesome. I think that there's clearly a hunger for that kind of event here in Vietnam, right? Like I've seen similar sorts of events like online in like Hoi An and Vung Tau to some extent. Obviously I wasn't at those events, so I can't like speak to exactly how they were, but they seem to be like, it was a spectator event, right? A single match running, you have super fights and maybe tournaments, but ultimately it's a spectator event with a single mat, right? But here in Saigon, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's anything like that, or there has been anything like that.
No, there's nothing like that. I mean, the close thing like that is the Lion Championship,
which is
MMA.
MMA.
Which is MMA.
Do they have grappling matches on that?
No, they don't.
No,
it's just straight MMA. So that's like the closest thing to a show, a martial arts show that you come and it's one match at a time.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's a different sport, right? Like
different sport.
Yeah, so for jiu-jitsu, for grappling,
like it.
Yeah, this is the first of its kind, and man, I thought it was awesome. Like, I think it exceeded expectations. I think that
absolutely
the crowd participation was like, bro, people were losing their minds.
Crowd engagement is a big thing because I haven't been to that many jiu-jitsu tournaments, but what I've noticed, even as a competitor, is you get there, you weigh in, then you just wait for your match. You talk to all your friends, and a couple hours go by, and then you're just like, I don't want to talk to anyone else, and you're still waiting, or then you compete, then you have to wait more, and no one's really that excited because everyone has just been there too long. Everyone just wants to go home.
You might wait 7-8 hours before your match.
Yeah.
So
it's just a different kind of thing. Those sorts of tournaments that you guys are talking about, usually it's multiple mats and it's like a for-profit tournament where a tournament organizer is running that with the intent of ultimately making money, which there's, first of all, just to be clear, there's absolutely nothing wrong with those kinds of tournaments, and those kinds of tournaments are very important for the sport, right? But also having more like spectator events where it's a single mat running or maybe even a stage, right? And people are watching that. It adds something a little bit different. I think that what this event, from my perspective, it brought 3 things that the jiu-jitsu community here can use. The first is ADCC rules, which I listened to Vince's interview about the event. I thought he made a lot of very good points. First being like, people here aren't super familiar with the rule set. I'm so experienced with the rule set that sometimes I forget that other people aren't, right? I mean that like seriously. Like sometimes I'll see stuff, I'm like, oh, this is obviously what's supposed to happen. But to other people, it doesn't necessarily make sense because they're not as experienced with the rule set, right? And so having people here become more accustomed to the rule set is a really good thing, right? Second thing was, it was a spectator type event, right? Where it's single mat running, people are watching, right? And we ran it fucking quick, I mean, we just kept running match after match after match, right? Very little downtime, makes it way more fun to watch, right? no one wants to fucking sit around 10 minutes between matches, right? Like, I think like that was one thing that I think you did amazing, Zach. Like, you did a really good job keeping everybody informed. What is going on? You got that. I assume it was you, maybe other people were getting the athletes like, hey, where's this guy? Get him over here, right? Like, yeah, I think everything was so smooth with that, right? And then, yeah, so it just kept everything going. And then the third thing is that this was something where, like it was free, right? And so because it's free, right? Like it's free and it's local, right? The biggest obstacle to people being able to compete is, financial or like logistical difficulties, right? Like, for instance, like V, who won the 66 kilo tournament, right? Imagine he wants to, like, I just went to Singapore and competed, right? Now, he could go there visa free. Singapore is visa free for Vietnamese people, so he could go there for that reason. But let's say he wanted to. The last Asian trials were in Australia, so for the last ADCC, for him to go to Australia to do trials, first he has to pay for the flight, then he has to pay for the hotel, then he has to get a visa, which is like not very easy for someone with a Vietnamese passport, right? So it adds layers of difficulty. And then he has to get there and do the tournament, right? Which is a difficulty in and of itself, right? But having it here, right? And having it be free, there's no obstacle, right? You just show up and compete, right? And so, and that, one of the I forget his name, the older Vietnamese guy who competed against the Indonesian kid.
Jackie Ann?
Yeah, he came up to me after and he was saying, he was actually talking about this, where he was like, this is what the community needs more of, right? We need more opportunities for guys to just, he said, it was so easy for me to just show up and compete here, right? There's nothing getting in the way of his ability to compete. And when you have competitions coming up, it motivates you to train harder. It builds the community. So
yeah,
that's
really good feedback. And he represents a gym Over Limit that isn't usually in the same circles as Over Under and Arkain and Shark for no other reason than we just haven't had these events. So that's really good feedback. And he'll be going to Malaysia with us.
Cool.
His gym Over Limit, led by a Japanese black belt. Very good, very fun class. So the more we can get those smaller gyms into our events and representation from throughout Saigon, I think will further the community and these events.
Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna keep doing them. So we're in agreement on that, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
It was a huge success. I think, like, if you look at the crowd engagement, like, people were actually excited to be there.
Yeah.
There were people watching the event that haven't necessarily participated in jiu-jitsu before, but someone had brought them along and they are engaged. It was quite a spectacle. And Zach convinced me to compete again through convenience. I opted to do that, got my 1-day training camp, started grappling again on Friday, and then got in on there. And
I was surprised when they said you're competing. I was like, hasn't he been preparing for a Muay Thai fight? Like,
yeah, Q needed an opponent, and this match was awesome, man. Like, he was a tough guy, and it was a very tough match, like very tight.
I had fun reffing it. I thought it was a good match. Yeah.
He's strong, man. So this was awesome to get competed with him, and he gets some.
That was his first time competing ever. He told me after. Yeah, he's going to be in. So I'm competing in South Korea in June, the end of June, at an event called Suga. He's also competing at that event. So this was like a warm up for him.
So yeah, he's caught the bug now, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow, is that a pretty prestigious event in Korea?
Yeah, I mean, it's so I don't know that much about it. But I know that in Korea, I believe it's pretty well respected is how it looks. Like they have like a lot of events, and I think Choi helped me get into it. You guys remember Choi, the older Korean black belt that was here? Yeah, he messaged me about it, and he was like, we can get you a seminar, and like we want you to do the event and stuff. And like, yeah, and they've had like in the past, they've had other really good guys like Daiki Yonekura of Japan, who's like, he's a really top level guy in Asia. He did it. I think Kenta Iwamoto might have even done it, who's another very high level Japanese guy. So yeah, but Suga's more like, they're like multi-mat. Right? It's different, not really like what we're doing, right? But I just mentioned it because Q's doing it, right? And he that was his first competition, and leading up to that, yeah.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even know Q was gonna had any tournaments lined up, but it's good to know that he that he's competing in more
Is he
after.
is he doing Malaysia?
He's doing Malaysia.
Okay, cool. All right. So June 2nd is Malaysia. June 30th is the Suga event in Korea. So that'll
Wow.
be a busy month for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, but anyway, what did you guys think about the matches? What were the standout matches to you guys?
Man,
Obviously, seeing Zach and a gi. It really didn't have anything to do with a match,
Right.
but I think this is
Yeah.
something like one consistent thing we need going forward in the tournament is we don't need to see Zach compete again, but we need to see him wearing the gi.
Oh,
He needs to
no.
come in uniform on time, and he can do a rotation, different colors, different manufacturers. It's okay as long as you're wearing
Why
it.
don't we make it a tradition? Zach has to do a gi match every
Hey,
event.
how about this? I will commit to this. Zach will do a ridiculous match.
All right, we'll do farcical
that is
matches.
largely out of my favor.
Why don't we do like, okay, just an idea. We don't have to do this. Why do we do, this would not really be out of your favor, but why don't we do like a freestyle wrestling match with you next time?
Okay, who would I go against?
I don't know. I mean, I
There's
don't,
only one guy, man.
Raymond, no.
Freestyle
Let's not
wrestling
put
match
him
with
through that.
Raymond?
That
I
is
would do
brutal.
that. I would do it.
No, I don't even want to see that.
I don't mind.
No.
I actually have a better chance.
We need to
I've
come
actually done 6 3-minute rounds with Raymond freestyle wrestling in a row.
I think if it's an actual match, it's going to be a different
Right.
story.
But
Yeah, we
Well,
do want your
dude.
help in the future with these events. We
Yeah,
need to-
I don't want you to die.
no. Wait, freestyle wrestling is. I have a much better chance in freestyle wrestling against Raymond than jiu-jitsu.
How about freestyle wrestling versus Corey?
No,
Greco-Roman wrestling versus Corey.
no.
We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
No, but I want it to be largely out of my favor.
Okay, all
You
right.
know what I
We'll
mean?
set up
Like-
farcical matches.
I'm like, I think I wouldn't mind doing it with Raymond. I'll tell you why. People would come to watch.
All
I
right.
mean, like I would be on Dagestani Airlines for about 6 minutes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
Okay, let's
I
just,
mean, but like, I don't mind wrestling Raymond at all.
okay, so
So
let's talk
but-
about it off the air.
but I think
It's an
that-
idea.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Yeah.
And I think that this is an opportunity for a lot of people who would never compete
Mhm.
to compete. Like, for example, my friend Brian, who was actually there with the Power Bites, 51 years old, very limited experience in jiu-jitsu, but just as natural. And he said, I would do a super fight against someone my age and
Yeah.
skill level. Whereas there's no way he would sign up for a regular tournament not knowing who he's going to go against. But
Yeah.
so there's a lot of opportunities to get the community more involved and even bring in people who aren't necessarily in the community
Mhm.
into the community to expand it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What like so for instance, like I don't know that much about this guy, but the owner of Mo Jiu-Jitsu is a local black belt. Like
Yep.
potentially cool to like expand to get like black belt matches and stuff. Potentially, right?
Yeah.
We had one black belt compete, right? Like
Well, we had 2, Corey.
oh, that's right. I forgot about
Yeah.
Corey. Yeah. Okay, so we had 2 black belts compete. Yeah, I mean, just ideas, right? Like,
Yeah.
I agree with you on this idea of it would be cool to like expand the network of the people who are interested in doing it. Yeah, but like, obviously, it's a slow burn, right? We'll take it step by step and just kind of take
Yeah.
it as it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was on event day, things don't go well, or not, things don't go as planned, and some of the things that we can really improve on. The live stream didn't work well, which we're going to improve next time. With,
Yeah.
we're going to get a portable Wi-Fi. I think that we can give awards to every winner
Yeah.
next time. But maybe we can keep track of team points.
Speaking of
You know?
V's bracket, it's here waiting for him.
Oh,
So
yeah.
whenever he
So
wants to
funny.
pick that up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this will be a tradition. It's a tradition that comes from wrestling when I was growing up. Yeah. The winner takes home the bracket. And this is much more valuable than a trophy. Only the champion takes home the bracket.
Yeah, that's badass.
And it's so, it's
So we just need to get someone to explain it to him, and then he can have it.
He
Yeah.
rushed off to go to work, which is amazing. Did you guys know that?
No.
That's why he left. Yeah, he left early
incredible.
because he had to go to work. Yeah, so the winner of our 66 kilo tournament, V, who weighed in at 52 kilos, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, he's
He
52.
was 52 kilos. Yeah, I love this kid. So he weighs 52
He's
kilos.
not cutting weight to make 52. He's just
52
52.
at that, yeah. He didn't cut 14 excessive kilos. So
We've been feeding him more to try and keep him around 52.
I got him, I don't know if he's using it, but I bought him a thing of like weight gainer protein. And I said, use this. I said, you need to get bigger.
Yeah.
But
Maybe you didn't understand that either.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. But yeah, came, got 2 amazing submissions, and then just bolted to go to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
incredible
talk about good
performance.
matches. The final
Mhm.
between Yura and V was, as soon as the points period came on, action. man.
Crazy sequence. Yeah. Do you want to play that? You want to like go to it? Can we do that?
Yeah, I think we can. You guys keep talking while I figure this out.
Zach, I got nothing to talk about, man.
I'm gonna need
I don't know why you bring me on here.
So like, in the meantime, we'll just give a shout out, a big thank you to some of the people who helped organize it, right? Mr. Ba and Dragon MMA.
Yeah, absolutely. They provided the venue.
Yeah.
Great place, open air.
Could not have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have found a venue, but I feel like that venue was really good.
Yeah, it's open, it's big, it's quite comfortable.
It's centrally located,
Mhm.
right? Like pretty easy to get to, even though I was very late.
But even from here, like it seems quite far, but
it
it's
was
only
actually my
15
fault.
minutes.
I should have provided better instructions.
Bro, I
Anytime you're dealing with an Italian, you get them there the night before.
You're not wrong, actually. Yeah. But yeah, bro, I like got lost on the way and I made a wrong turn because I thought I knew where I was going. I didn't even have the GPS. I thought I knew where I was going, and it turns out I did not go a very good way.
But here's the thing: you showed up late. We started the rules meeting late, and we still finished the event at 12 o'clock.
We still finished so quick.
This is crazy.
It was
like,
under 2 hours. The whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing was
Wow,
under 2 hours.
That's crazy. Yeah, I told my girlfriend it's probably gonna be 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was there. She was there watching. She enjoyed it. She has no jujitsu experience. Before she met me, she didn't even know what jujitsu was. She enjoyed watching the event. She said it was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really good.
This is
feedback.
like what you need in grappling is to build engagement from the non-grappler. Because for when I started training jiu-jitsu, it was really a year or two before I was even interested in like I'd watch ADCC and I'd be like, everything is too technical for even me to understand. So it took some time to really get interested in watching a sport as a spectator.
Yeah.
So to just have people come into this event, feel the energy, it helps when they're in the room, of course.
Yeah.
But that really says something about what this event is all about.
Yeah, man, for sure. Let's just go back just a little bit. Such a great, and a shout out to Yura on an awesome performance as well. Like the whole tournament was fucking awesome. Slava and Yura, that match was fucking awesome. Maybe we can look at that later. Bro, I mean, so high level from guys who are still relatively inexperienced, right? Like they were all white belts, I think, in the tournament. Is V a white belt or blue belt?
He's a blue belt.
He's a blue belt?
Quite recent.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, yours pretty much a blue belt if he's not already.
Yeah.
He'll be a blue belt
Does he
soon.
have wrestling experience?
He wrestled as a child, and I think he took some time off of grappling all in all, and then now is training at Arkain under Pato.
Yep.
The points should start pretty soon here. Points right there. Crazy. Oh my God.
That is insane. That
He was waiting. I think V was. There were moments in the match, specifically at one point, Yura was in like I think it was a top half guard. And I was like, man, Yura's really putting it on V. And I thought maybe his pressure would be too much. I thought V was going to start to maybe gas. And then let's go back. Let's rewatch that. Let's rewatch that moment. What a good moment. He just pounced on.
We can play the live.
It's
Yeah. We can play the actual video on the
right here.
over top of this.
We'll go back just a little bit more. Here's perfect. Right here. And then let's pause at a certain spot in a second. Yeah. So you'll see my hand. So pause real quick. So something I was trying to make sure of during the event was I tried to run it as like similar to an actual 80cc match as possible, right? So for instance, right, the thing I kept doing with fighter ready, table ready, right? That's ADCC protocol, right? Like You look at the fight, you say, fighter ready, table ready, right? I did not want to start the match until I knew both Sighmaan and Hiep. Because you need to have the table ready because, like, you have to get the points and stuff, right? Like, obviously. Yeah. So I was running it like that. And then the thing I did with my hand, like points, right? That's an actual 80cc referee hand gesture. You go like that, right? So points, right? And you move your hand. Why? I don't know. But that's
But you did it.
That's what we do, right?
We followed protocol.
Yeah. So you'll see right here, my hand. I'm gonna go points. Kung celebrating. Oh, that's such a good moment. I love Kung. Yeah. I feel like this also meant a lot to V. Like I felt like his reaction was very like emotional.
And wait until you watch the presentation. It's like,
Is this his first time competing in Saigon? V?
he just recently
Saigon,
did
yes.
the national in Canada.
But not in Saigon.
Not in
though,
Saigon.
right? Like maybe
Look at him.
oh man,
That's
yeah,
incredible.
this is such a good role, man.
That's just.
But I think he competed in the gi tournament in June.
You could tell he's almost like overwhelmed. Like he's so like
I mean, this is incredible.
he is, I think. There are about like roughly 6 to 8 Vietnamese guys who I think are like the future of the sport here. I think he is one of them for sure.
Without question.
Yeah. His biggest obstacle is, I've been telling him this, he's got to learn English. He's got to learn it, you know. It will help him gain more opportunities as a coach someday. It's going to help him learn instructionals.
Yeah. I could tell you were really proud of him.
Yeah. I mean,
You know?
yeah. So obviously I'm the ref. I'm not trying to
course.
like preference anybody. At the end of the day,
Of course.
if V had points scored on him or V broke a rule, I'm going to officiate just the same as I would have had he been anyone else. But, you know, I do like this kid and, you know, it's nice to see him succeed. But yeah, but that's not going to supersede my like work as a ref, right? Like, yeah. We can't have an event where the ref wants a specific athlete, is trying to help a specific athlete to win. You know what I mean?
Without question.
Yeah.
We could have an event where the ref is trying to help a specific athlete lose. As long as it's Zach,
That's okay.
We can
Well,
make
I
up.
don't think you're going to need to
as
do
long as the
that.
referee's not fevering anybody.
I don't think you're going to need to do that against Raymond.
Oh my God. You really want to do this?
I would do it.
Ask Raymond. We have to
Wait, Raymond is never going to say no.
He's never
Raymond would take a match with. He said he would take a match with Marigal. He doesn't care.
All right. So if
He
you want,
literally doesn't
all
care.
right, you want like we could do that.
But let's explore other
Oh,
options. I would
Phineas
do
would
it.
try to
I
do
would do it. But whoever I go against, I want them to have a marked advantage.
Okay.
I don't want to have the advantage.
Okay. How about we do a gi match with Kung and he starts in reverse half and you're down 5 points already? Another option.
Okay, I would probably do that too. But I
How about
think
we
like,
do a match with who's the biggest guy we can get? And Zach has to start bottom mount.
oh my God. but definitely has to be higher than a purple belt. I don't want to have a belt advantage.
Okay. Oh, the big dude at the end. Yeah.
I was just like, wow,
So
this guy is a monster, man.
So let's talk more about like who do you guys, just off the top of your head, who else would you guys like to see compete? Like who are some guys in the community you'd like to see get matches? I can name some guys if you guys want.
Well, I think first and foremost, we should be looking primarily to have more local Vietnamese athletes in the next event.
I
This year we
agree.
had many, but we really want to make sure this is at the forefront.
Yeah, for sure. All the guys I'm thinking about are, most of them are Vietnamese. Most of the guys I'm thinking. Yeah.
So Vietnamese people who go to these local gyms that don't have any chance of competing, I think that's number one.
Yeah.
And then internationally, I think Pablo is talking about bringing some folks from Hong Kong.
Oh, cool.
Some black belts. So we could have grapplers get international exposure without leaving Saigon.
Yeah, wow.
So that could be an option. But definitely, like I don't really care about competing in this, but I will compete. But
Yeah.
I would rather see someone else
Yeah.
compete. Let me think. Who do you like to see?
So some guys off the top of my head, I would be interested in seeing I don't remember his name. The bigger Vietnamese brown belt who came to visit us one time. He owns his own gym, I think in D3. And I asked him if he was interested, and he said yes. And I think he's very talented. I think it'd be interesting. He's an MMA fighter. He just had an MMA fight recently. I think he would make for a good match against someone. I think Dennis has never competed, is what he told me, but I think he's super good. Yeah, he's really good. I think I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of his name, but Yui.
Yeah, Yui.
Yui. Yeah, I think
I was training with him today.
yeah, Yui is a stud. I think, what is he? Is he still
purple
belt? Right, like almost a brown belt, like very near to that. I think he would make for a great match. Kung, I think, is an obvious name, right?
My son.
Kung is the godfather of Vietnamese jiu-jitsu.
God, he is my son.
He's your son? He's
He's
older than you.
He looks so young.
You are Kung's
here
son.
now.
No. No, he's our uncle. Kung is, I view Kung as like, he's everyone's big brother at Over Under. And like, that's the energy I get from Kung, right? So I don't know, like Kung competes a lot in Japan, and I think it's a no-brainer, right? This is a local Saigon event. Why not do it, right? Like, they'd be cool to get him a match.
We could bring some folks from Hanoi as well.
Yeah. There's so many possibilities, but these are the guys that spring to my mind first and foremost. I definitely want to see V competing again, like more frequently. We should get V on. Let's have V on every event. If he wants to, we should have him on every event.
Yeah.
Now he's a 66 kilo champion. Next time, maybe
What does he have to do?
Title defense.
What does the champion have to do?
He's got to defend his title, right?
Here we
so
go.
Next time, we can have a
Is
title
there going to be
defense.
like another 66 tournament and he's not in it? And the winner of that, then there's a super fight like ADCC.
Could do that, or we could just have a match, right? A title fight, right? We don't, remember when they had the 125-pound division in the UFC? They first brought it in, right? What did they do? They had that tournament, right? The tournament got kind of fucked up, but
Here's a thought. Maybe we look at another tournament. Whoever wins that 66 kilogram bracket, we invite them.
could, but then V wouldn't compete on the event, right? Like, so we could do that.
I mean, like we look at take another tournament. Whoever wins that.
Oh,
tournament, and
I
then
see.
we go
Okay,
down.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Absolute tournament.
Could do that, right? But I mean, yeah, whatever. There's many options. I think the key with this is like what I'd like to do is hold it relatively frequently, right? And keep it very open-minded about what we're doing with it, right? Like, so for this event, early on, like I was telling people like, hey, if you guys want to do, like if someone approaches us and says, hey, I want to do an EBI rules match, I think we should do that. If someone wants to do an IBJJF rules match, I think we should do that. I think we should be open-minded about, rule sets. I think the base should be ADCC. If there's no other, if people don't have a preference about rule set, I think we should stick to ADCC. But like, I know I was talking to Pato and he said some of his guys were interested in EBI rules. I think that's interesting, right? Well, if someone wants to do that, why not let them do that? Right? If they can get an opponent who agrees to it, why not let them do it, right? So having it be, sort of very free-flowing and open-minded, I think is one of the strengths of the event.
No matter what we do, Rob and Adam, I think that we all agree we're going to keep it exciting for the competitors and for the spectators.
Yeah, we want people to compete and want to be there, and we want fans and spectators to come. And I think after this event, the people who weren't there, I had a lot of people reach out to me and say, "Oh wow, I heard everything was awesome and really exciting to watch." And they're already looking forward to the next one. So the word of mouth goes far. And
that's awesome. And I will say, as like reffing the event, I think it's the most fun I've ever had reffing. Like it was super fun. I've reffed ADCC gold medalists before. This was more fun. These matches were better.
The energy in the building was nice, man.
Yeah.
It's like I really enjoyed competing against Q, and like you felt the energy from the crowd, but it's still like light in there.
For sure. There was no
animosity.
Yeah.
It was everyone's there to have a good time.
I think it was the first time I ever reffed when no one at any point argued with me about the rules or yelled at me. Like no one had any issues.
No one.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the rules. So.
But like, I mean, I just, usually people are like, that's a sweep, that's a takedown, that's blah, 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 this or whatever. And no one argued at all. People were there with a good spirit,
Yeah.
right? It's not about, it wasn't like a war, right? This is a healthy competition, right? Which I think is a lot better.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's different than training in the gym. Like you can still have healthy competition, but the level and the intensity gets higher.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's still a nice environment, and yeah, it was really fun to be a part of on both sides as an organizer and a participant. That might be the last time I participate in this event because we want to make room for more different competitors. If I get the call up last minute again,
You never know what's going to happen.
Never know.
Saigon
I don't know how to say
Superfights.
no.
Oh, another person I want to compete. Okay. I want to see Sighmaan compete. He might not want to do it.
Simon.
He said
What are we gonna do with the commentary?
he can do the commentary and then he can go compete, right? Like we'll just hold the mic.
Someone will follow him around with the boom. While he's
Yeah.
So do you guys remember the early Metamoris competitions? So these were organized by Hollick Gracie. They were the first big super fight events that ever really took place in like modern jiu-jitsu. So
This is like Eddie Bravo in gi pants.
Yeah, Eddie Bravo and Guy Vance. Yeah, he had the match with Hoyler.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, the rematch. Yeah.
Okay.
But there was an event where there was a secret match, right? And Jeff Glover, who was one of the commentators, he was the opponent for the secret match, and he was in the commentary booth, and then he came off and he went on to the stage.
Amazing.
Obviously, now it wouldn't be a secret because we just talked about it with Sighmaan, but. You could have a guy doing commentary and who also steps on the mat and compete. And again, only if he wants to, right? I asked him and he was like, oh, I'd rather just do the commentary, which he did an amazing job. So he wants to just stick with that. But I think he's a fun grappler. I like watching him compete. So could be good. Hip's another one.
Yeah.
For sure. Right.
And two guys I'd like to see compete, but two guys also would like to say thank you to for, helping us out on short notice with the commentary. And they both did an excellent job. Yeah, they both seem really interested in helping us out in the future there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of people made this happen. So we're very thankful for that, and we're gonna put together the best show for the next one.
Absolutely, the future is bright.
The next, guys, an announcement here. The next event will have.
I think he's locking up that triangle.